Hi, welcome to another episode of Wiki, What? On today's episode, we've got our three contestants. Please introduce yourselves.
Blake White.
Will Morgan. Sullivan Gilmore.
And as usual on our show, we will give our contestants three facts. Two of them we found on Wikipedia, and they are actual, real, true facts. The other one is not so much a fact, but really just something that we made up. So the one that they're going to be looking for is the one that, of course, is false. So you will mark either 1, 2, or 3 based on whichever one of these you think is false. Our first three facts basically are all about musicals. Here are your three. The first, the musical Mamma Mia, a jukebox musical composed of songs by the Swedish pop dance group Opera, premiered on Broadway in New York in April of 1999. Our second one, in 2011, some rights to the musical Phantom of the Opera were released to the public in celebration of its 25th anniversary. In March of 2011, Reed Custer High School in Braidwood, Illinois became the first school to perform Phantom under the new rights. For our last one, the original Broadway production of Oklahoma opened on March 31st of 1943. It was a box office hit and ran for 2,212 performances. In 1955, it won an Oscar for a film adaptation. Which one of those did we make up? Was it number 1 about Mamma Mia, number 2 about Phantom of the Opera, or number 3 about Oklahoma? Or as we call it here, Oklahoma.
Thank you, Ethan, for the spelling.
Hold up your answers and let's see what we got. We got 1, 2, and 2. And Blake, you've gone out to a commanding 1-0 lead because that one is false. It did not premiere on Broadway or in April of 1999. The rest of the stuff about it was true. It is a jukebox musical, but it probably premiered somewhere in Sweden. Is that right? So yeah, it premiered somewhere in Sweden. Our next ones. On January 18th, 2019, the film Io was released. Critics said Io has some big ideas, but little idea on how to effectively convey them. This caused them to receive a 33% score on Rotten Tomatoes. Metropolis, a 1927 film by Fritz Lang, was one of the first feature-length science fiction films. It was produced at Studio Babelsberg, Germany. Or our last one, My Stepmother is an Alien, was released in 1988. Broke box office records, grossing $21 million against a $19 million budget on the first day it was released. Which of those did we make up? Was it about Io being apparently a bad movie? Metropolis being the first feature-length science fiction movie? Or My Stepmother is an Alien, grossing enough to pay off its budget in the first day and being a record breaker? Do we all have an answer?
Yep.
Hold them up. The one that is made up is My Stepmother is an Alien. So we now have 1-0. There are 5 rounds altogether, so. Round 3, looks like we are talking about animals now. Or really old things, I'm not sure. Most think that elephants are the largest existing land animal on Earth, but it is the Elephantidae species that are similar to elephants. So elephants aren't, but something very similar to it actually is. The second one, the extinct Yamal baby mammoth Layuba, I'm probably getting a lot of that wrong, found in 2007 in the Yamal Peninsula in western Siberia, along with modern baby elephants, ate the dung of adult animals. This was because their teeth had not fully developed to chew grass yet. And our last potential fact, the Elephanta Caves are a collection of cave temples predominantly dedicated to the Hindu god Shiva. They are an Elephanta island and contain rock-cut stones that show syncretism, I don't know what that word means, of Hindu and Buddhist ideas and iconography.
I actually talked about that in Mr. Wilson's class.
Did you?
Shout out Mr. Wilson.
Giving away some information.
This was read before that class, actually.
Oh, there you go.
So.
Well, I'm going to go off what he said since he talked to a bunch of Buddhists, and I didn't.
Matt Wilson, going and talking to Buddhists. All right, you guys have an answer? Hold them up, let's see what we got. 1-1-1, and that is correct. That one is the one that is wrong. So everyone gets a point. 2-2-1. Let's go to round 4. An 18th century American and British toothpaste recipe called for burned bread. Are Are you just gonna keep throwing
Dude,
it on the
I-
show? What is your deal?
I've accidentally dropped it twice.
An 18th century American and British toothpaste recipe called for burned bread. Another formula around this time called for dragon's blood, which is actually a resin, cinnamon, and burned alum. So that's, really long time ago toothpaste. Our second one, before the modern toothbrush was invented, wealthy oral hygiene users would put baking soda and peroxide in a box and then scoop some out with elephant ivory to brush their teeth with. Or our last one, the modern day toothpaste tube was inspired and later manufactured by Dr. Washington Sheffield when he saw painters using paint tubes in Paris. Which fact about toothpaste or oral hygiene did we make up? All right, everyone's got something? Hold them up, let's see what we got. 3, 2, and 2. Making the game even tighter because 2 is correct. So 2, 3, 2, I believe is our correct scores. So we are down to the last round. If we have a tie, we will go to one question that is a different type of question that is number based. Again, we'll go to whoever has the closest. Do you have a tiebreaker by chance?
I'll get some.
Okay, we'll see if we need it. So if that happens, of course, if you get it right, then you win. So that's all good.
If I
Save
give
you
up
some work.
2 leads today.
Round 5. John Smith Clark, who lived from 1885 to 1959, was a British author, newspaper editor, poet, socialist politician, and lion tamer. He was the country's youngest lion tamer at age 17. Paul Peck, 1889 to 1912, he didn't live as long, was a early U.S. aviator. The first aviator from the U.S. state of West Virginia, he set a number of aviation firsts and records before dying, fittingly, in a plane crash. Or Mervyn Derrick Burton, who lived from 1930 to 1987, was an English cricketer, player of the game cricket, obviously. Burton was a right arm off lower break hitter and heavy and right-handed rear high-end ball man. I don't know what any of that means, but presumably it's how they hit and throw the ball. Which one of these people did we just make up?
Really old people.
Fairly old. Mr. Burton is quite a bit younger. They're all dead, but he could still be alive, like plausibly. Alright, do we all have an answer?
Yeah.
Let's see what we got. 3, 2, and 3. That's awesome. We have a 3-way tie. Correct. Ethan, find us a question. All right, so our tiebreaker. This one is a number-based question, and the closest wins. We're not doing Price is Right rules. It's just closest wins. So if you're over, under by 1 or something like that, then if you're the closest, you win. It goes back to our first question, which of course is about musicals. It talked about Oklahoma having 2,212 performances way back when. But Mamma Mia, I will give you this much, has even more. It eventually did go to Broadway. How many total performances did Mamma Mia, the musical we are running here at SHG right now, run before closing on Broadway? So how many performances?
Or keep
All right, does everyone have an answer?
Yep.
Hold them up and let's see what we got. We have 5342, 4,321, 2424, and the correct answer is 5,773. You came back, you had the lead, you blew the lead,
And then I
you
came
came
in.
back to win.
I'm glad
so
I did.
Blake White is our winner. You want to throw a trophy or anything at him? Good catch. Blake White, our champion of this episode of Wiki What. Thanks for watching and join us next episode.